Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Pavs, a rising VTuber and artist, and today we are going to be working on the fan art of Ina that we've been working on for the past couple streams, and also we're going to be warming up with with like the schedule art that we put out every week. I do like having this opportunity to just do the schedule art. I don't know, sometimes I feel like the scope of it is very hard to control, so having it be kind of front-loaded in a stream like this helps me to just kind of make sure I'm not dawdling too much, or you know, it locks me in. It locks me in, and I find that that's the case for a lot of activities while I stream. Sometimes I feel like I'm just not. I feel like I'm just fucking around too much. You know, it's hard because there are times when I feel like I need to really lock in, and I'm just not able to do that. Okay, what do we have in terms of thumbnails that we can use? Oh yeah, I actually wanted to do one based off of the Dan Da Dan ending theme. I remember seeing a lot of posts. This week's episode was apparently very depressing, and I think it aligns to. I remember reading the mangas up to that point, and I was like, "Damn, this shit is depressing." And it turns out that that is a sentiment shared by many people. But so a lot of people were in fact posting about how, because they had like that depressing episode, it had such whiplash when it cut to the goofy ass ending credits. Which have themselves like a very heartwarming section. Like the ending credits have a surprisingly touching kind of like story developed between like Turbo Granny and that stray cat she finds. But at the same time, it's like fucking. We just witnessed the worst day of a random woman's life, to the point where she became a vengeful spirit after she moved on to the next world. And now we have Turbo Granny fucking turning on a hairdryer. Awesome. Thanks. Very cool. I do think that the single greatest piece of advice that I've ever received when it comes to art is absolutely that to picture the hand as like as a sort of pentagon-ish shaped. Because this is technically a hexagon. Like if we count the sides. Yeah, I accidentally made it into a hexagon. But you can actually see, right, because of how bones work. I mean, I technically don't have bones, but assuming I had bones. I get depressed sometimes that I don't have bones. Y'all make it sound so much fun. Not to mention it, I feel like I'm missing out on something by the fact that I'll never be turned into broth. Well, I guess you could turn other parts of me into broth. I don't know. Is it weird that I feel a little bit unfulfilled by the fact that I'll never be broth? I'll never be cooked down into a delicious soup. I'm like a side ingredient at most. Definitely not gonna be the star of the dish. Usually that's fine with me. I'm fine just being an accompaniment to something much bigger. But if I'm the one being eaten, I feel like I should at least be like the main event, you know? Like I feel like there are some situations where you should be entitled to a little bit more attention than usual. And I feel like being cannibalized is one of those situations. We are starting off. I feel like I need to work sometimes on like starting off on less insane topics. Not that I frequently start on them, but I feel like sometimes I just like let the mask slip a little bit too much. And that now anybody who like catches this through a VOD or accidentally tries to watch from the beginning because they were recommended me from a friend or something are gonna be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? He's like a bag of rice? Is that what's going on? It is a little sad that I feel like my ability to depict myself as a bag of rice, just because of how I stylize myself, is a little bit isn't always super easy to grasp. So I think that's something that I'm gonna have to work on for my branding. Comment: they need to know your entire deal immediately, and this is the best way of doing that. The filtering process. You know, that's a pretty noble way to go about it as well. You know, it would be one thing if. Because you're right, on the one hand, it is not great that I'm already starting off coming on this strong. But on the other hand, if I pretend to be like too normal and then I say some freak ass shit out of nowhere, they'll be even surprised. They'll have a very unpleasant surprise. It'll be even worse for them. So I do understand. I do agree that that's like that might not be the best outcome. People love that. That's why they're always clipping those corpo VTubers, right? That's true. To some extent, though, I feel like the corpo VTubers being unhinged is less so just them being unhinged. I don't know. It's a complicated. It is a. I do believe. I don't think it's simple enough to say that people love others when they say unhinged shit. I think to some extent that's true, but I think it's also important to kind of analyze that in the context of what you see, because people do love unhinged things, but I think moreover they love it when hinged people say unhinged things. Right? It's like scarcity. Like, a normal person saying unhinged shit is more valuable than an unhinged person saying unhinged shit, because it's simply unexpected, or it is rare form. You can be unhinged all the time because that just becomes the norm. The twisted cousin of Cap Moe. God. I feel like I need to redo this line. Also, hi Jupiter. And also hi Common. I forgot to do the greeting first. There are two girls in front of you. One's Gap Moe and the other is Moe Gap. Huh. Okay, so alright, wait. Let's break this down on an etymological basis, right? Gap Moe is the idea of, okay, so Moe itself is a term that's used to like denote a feeling of endearment or desire to, you know, it's almost like wanting to love it a little bit. That's kind of like where the root of kawaii comes from. Like it's like a loan word from Chinese, from kai, which literally means it is like lovable. So moe is like a very related concept. Gap moe is in turn the idea that like something that you don't see very often is more, or rather something that you don't expect from someone else is actually, it kind of endears you to them. Conversely, I'm Gap Moe. That is true, actually. That's true. Leov is Gap Moe. Leov does have the capability for Gap Moe. Yeah, the Japanese stole a bunch of shit from the Chinese, including their entire goddamn alphabet. But yeah, but hang on. Going back to our argument, so hang on, Gap Moe. I knew that script was taken, but I didn't know specifically about kawaii. I mean, it might be more like a descendant of certain words, but I don't think it like some Japanese person heard somebody in ancient China call like, I don't know, a cat kai. And then when like we should take that word. In any case, right. So Gap Moe is rare form. Rare form. So Moe Gap. That's difficult actually, because like thinking about it from like a completely like at its most basic level, right? So if like a serious person, right? And let me turn off turbo grinding for a second. If like a serious person suddenly has like a cute side, right? That's Gap Moe. So theoretically, Moe Gap would be somebody who is very cute having like a serious ass moment. So like somebody that's like, so it's kind of like this to this, just for like a single moment. You could think of it as like the reverse scale on a cute person's armor. But I feel like that's too simple of a term, because even that, you know, theoretically, that is also rare form for that cute person. So that's still technically, it falls under the definition of gap moe. Maybe it's like one of those paradoxes where it exists, but it also exists within the thing that it's trying to contradict. You know, you can't have like a key-shaped hole without having the concept of a key. This is tough, actually. This philosophy shit ain't easy. Actually, I'm gonna keep that there. I'm just going to move what we were working on previously to a different layer. Schrodinger, or however you spell it, cat. Sean Ginger is fucking awesome. But yeah, I know the cat you're talking about. I do like... Sometimes it's not particularly funny. Hi, what's going on? Oh, we're making the schedule art for this week. And after that, we're going to be working on some fan art that we started a couple weeks back and have been chipping away at ever since. Yeah. There is this one meme with Schrodinger's cat where the doctor is like, so as you can see, I cannot actually tell whether the cat is dead or alive until I open the box. And, you know, the box makes a sound and the doctor's like, shut up in there. And, like, usually the doctor, the dichotomy that the doctor is presenting is something that's completely unrelated to life or death. I take a look at the problem with the Turbo Granny reference that I'm using is that it doesn't have her facial structure. Despite us having very similar proportions, her facial structure is completely different from mine. Like, hers is genuinely cat-shaped. Mine is just kind of like a flat object on my face. You would think this would make me easier to 3D model, but Blender is a tricky little program with many secrets that I have yet to uncover. Oh yeah, speaking of programs with secrets, I've actually tried to look into a little bit more about music making so that we can come back to those streams at some point. I really do want to get better at it. I don't know, I feel like I still haven't fulfilled my obligations for the garage sale, which I still have a couple of left. Like, for example, I still owe you all the Tool Takeover stream. People who use Blender as an art program make me shiver in my fucking boots. I don't know, I feel like it has to be like... It's probably like coding in the same sense that, like, once you gain a basic understanding of it, it's probably, like, once you do it enough times, you stop being scared of it, and instead you're just kind of, like, dealing with it like it's a normal pain in the ass. You know, in as much as, like, making art in general is a pain in the ass, it's a pain in the ass. But I do feel like it's one of those skills where if you, like, learn it, and you're, like, decent at it, it is one of those things where, like, you can show your skills off to another person and they'll be like, you are a fucking sorcerer or some shit. We need to burn you at the stake, like, pronto. Your rice doesn't empty out with a hairdryer? I mean, I have a lot of it stuffed in there. One time I tripped and it fell upside down and it just kept falling out for like 5 minutes. There's like way more rice in there than you would expect. Also, I am going to angle it a little bit higher. No, actually, hang on. I think it's angled pretty well right now. It reminds me a little bit of those moments from action movies where they show the casings of a gun falling to the ground when somebody's been shooting for a while to indicate how much ammo they've shot. Never underestimate the rice bag's ability of keep spilling and spilling and spilling. Yeah, I mean, I've never actually... Come to think of it, there's only been a couple times when I think it's been emptied out. And even then, it just kind of comes back on its own. I'd rather not do too many experiments on it, though. You know how, like, you bloodhabbers have, like, low iron moments? It feels a little bit like what I imagine that is like when it's emptied out. Very unpleasant, very hangover-like. And actually, I do think that the rice would probably fall in, like, a different direction. Like, it would probably... Hang on. It would probably, like, only target a very specific part, and then just, like, peter out on either side. I do also want the opportunity to draw the sun with, like, more fucked up expressions. The issue with, like, characters who only have like 1 or 2 expressions is that drawing them with, like, any expression other than the one that they normally have is, like, a challenge. So, but what is fun is contorting the expression they normally have into, like, a paint grimace. I'm going to also duplicate this layer just in case we lose any progress. Also, the fastener on the right hand side is a little bit too huge. We need to scale that down. But there, it looks like it's part of the hand there. While you're saving, might as well stretch and sip. That's true. Actually, before I started stream, I did have a quick, like, 20-minute exercise session. So I'm actually feeling pretty limber. You know, I did some goblet curls, I did some lunges, did some kick-throughs. I feel pretty good. I feel very warm. Guy who warmed up for the stream. Yeah, you got me doing friggin' the whole kind of like training montage from 36 Chambers of Shaolin just before I hit go live. That's where I get my that's where I get all my streaming sauce. That wouldn't actually be such a bad idea. You know, I do know that exercising relaxes you. And it's not a bad idea to get some cardio in every day. The only issue then is that I don't stream every day either. And if I did, I feel like I'd actually be in quite a lot of pain in different ways. Well, we'll have to see how it goes. I do want to be able to stream more frequently again. It might not happen until like maybe late December. And the thing is, right, I have like this obligation that I'm taking care of. I've explained this a couple of times, but I'm going to explain it again just because I feel guilty a little bit. I have this obligation where it needs like a lot of my attention. At one point, I did fulfill that obligation while also streaming regularly. I don't feel like I was at that point. I don't feel like I was at that point when I resumed that obligation. I had to take a break from that obligation in the beginning of 2023, and I've only returned to it like end of July 2024. And so because of that, I want to... Did you just make the same expression as the sun as you were drawing it? 100% I was making that same expression. You know I was making this expression. Like, I was trying to figure out how to, like, make the eyebrows curved while also demonstrating... I heard it! That is true. Like, the thing is, what a lot of people don't tell you, right? They tell you, like, if you're talking to someone on the phone, if you smile, they can hear it. The thing that they don't tell you is that this applies to other expressions, including expressions of disgust. No one believes me. I believe you. I believe you. When I say that I can hear their expressions. I think part of it is not just like hearing the expressions, but it's like the silence that is also a part of it, right? Like you can also like, it's like kind of like when somebody hesitates a little bit when they say something, you can like hear the gears in their head turning. Maybe it's a different thing though. Having grimace synesthesia is frankly crazy work, but it seems like a useful skill to have. I have eyes in my ears, that's why I can hear well. I don't think I need to fact check that at all. I think that makes perfect sense to me. Like, yeah, that's how it works. These petals are huge. They need to be way, way smaller. Hang on, let's try to adopt the usual style for making these. You win some, you lose some. I don't like that the sun's expression here, because of just how it's structured now, also looks a little bit like the Roblox handsome face. I haven't played Roblox before. I'm not particularly interested in starting, But I do understand that there is like a default handsome face in it that crops up from time to time, and it does make me lose it a little bit. If we should play, you would hate it. Now, see, I'm having some issue connecting those two dots to make an enjoyable experience for myself. The thing about Roblox is it looks kind of ugly. I don't think it necessarily. I don't think it's that ugly, frankly. I don't think it's like ugly to the point where I would say this is an ugly ass game. I think it looks like the fact that most of its content is made by children. And also, like, people who cater to children for a quick buck. Like, I will say that it looks like that, and that might be its kind of Achilles heel. Like, it does feel a little bit like Baby's first Gmod. Which I think is kind of the purpose of its existence. It is just like Gmod for tiny little babies who are still in elementary school. Those are just the facts of its existence. I'm judging it harshly on a superficial nature. Tough but fair. Tough but fair, you know? Not everything can be everybody's cup of tea. I do appreciate your honesty in declaring this. Well, in a world where there's like a myriad of things where it's like, I don't like this thing on like ethical grounds, it is extremely brave and I dare say refreshing to hear somebody say, yeah, I don't like this thing because I think it's ass. No particular reason behind that, I just think it's kind of ass. I don't know, it's pretty bad, but playing with friends can make any shitty Roblox game fun. I can very easily believe that. That is true, that even with a bad game, if you have like people you like playing with you, instantly bumps it up like at least 2 or 3 stars in a 10-star scale, I think. You could be throwing rocks at each other's head and it'd be fun with friends. Yeah, exactly. Me and friends played in a giant white room with nothing in it for 2 hours and it was so much fun. So, there was literally nothing to do with the giant white room. You were just like chasing each other around, tag and hide and seek style. Well, I guess it'd be mostly tag style. Am I understanding this correctly, or do I have it wrong? Like, was there a creature in the white void? Friends are fun generators. That's a good way of looking at it. There are a lot of things that are just more fun with friends. In fact, the list of things that are not more fun with friends is actually rather short, all things considered. Well, my friend found out he was able to use something he had in his inventory, so he gave us swords and we ran around trying to krill each other. Now, see, that's classic. That's classic. Being able to murder your friends in a zero-stakes context is like entirely understandable as a method of entertainment. That's why fighting games are so popular, even with people who aren't into them competitively. Hit each other with swords. No! We kept accidentally killing him because he couldn't safely give us the swords. God, he was like handing the sword to you in like a very wide, like from like a distance, being like, all right, when I give you this, I need you to promise to not stab me. Okay, do not stab me when I give you this. Okay, do you promise not to stab me when I give you this? I promise. Okay, here you go. Yeah, stabbing you. Ah, you stabbed me. I imagine it was kind of like that for 30 minutes. The arbiter of your fighting himself impaled on your weapons. That is kind of hardcore. Hold on, I have an idea for how to do this next part. Yeah, he got sick of dying, so he started killing us. The sword friend giveth, and the sword friend taketh away. Tale as old as time. It is kind of funny when a conflict inevitably reaches the point where the dude supplying the weapons is like, wait a minute, I have all the weapons. Why am I not trying to take over for myself? I do think I should actually try this for some of the other layers as well. Hang on. Let me try something. Bup, 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 bup. Not that one. Bup, 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 bup. Just keep taking these up. And then putting them on this one. Yeah, okay, that is much more readable, I think. I do think I do, however, need to port over the little impact flicks that I have over here. It reminds me a little bit of that Nicolas Cage film, Lord of War. I've never actually seen it, so I don't know if it's fair to say that that's what happened in that movie, but it sounds like I feel like it'll be a pretty familiar sort of plot line. Can the sun smoke the devil's lettuce? Consulting the wizard, as some may call it. I think the sun could probably do it in the sunflower form. I don't think it would be possible to do it as the sun. You would need, like, I mean, first of all, the blunt would probably get immolated as soon as you got it in range. That is true as well. Like, the sun can do pretty much whatever it wants. Yeah, you would need, like, a blunt, like the Dyson sphere of like a weed cigarette. You would need like a Kardashev scale, the Kardashev scale blunt. A pod brownie the size of Texas as a start. You could do it, but I don't think like humanity is currently operating at the level where we could feasibly manufacture it. Okay, and then we also need to have the bottom of the hairdryer just kind of... The issue here is that, hang on, let me see if I can't kind of just reach over. like so, and Alright, here's what let's do. We're gonna duplicate this layer. Gonna rasterize that sucker. And then we're going to erase those parts. There we go. I also want to, hang on. We would need to do this. Hang on. Well, I mean, first we need to turn off the background reference, and then we would need to... Wait, I'm trying to think here. How do I preserve... you know what? It doesn't even matter. We can just expand by 1 pixel. Fill in with white. There we go. I do want to add a... Hang on. Darken. I want to see if I can't add a effect someplace around here. It always feels a little bit nerve-wracking to kind of fill in a color without using a paint bucket. I know that's how a lot of people do it. Like a lot of people do it without the paint bucket whatsoever being involved. I'm saying it stresses me out personally. I'm also going to add a second one of these for the purposes of having the cross shape, and then that way it's going to... Hang on. If my calculations are correct, yes! Okay. Just so we can have like that hatch on the back of the hairdryer that hairdryers normally have. I think that's pretty much it. I think the only thing left is to start updating the days on this sucker. Halfway through November already, huh? That feels a little hard to believe. I feel like we should still be in September. I don't know. I feel like on the one hand I've accomplished a lot of things in the first half of this year, but because of how I've lived my life, the second half of this year has been a lot more slow going. Wouldn't say that I've necessarily wasted it, but it is more like it's just been occupied heavily in a way that I don't feel in control of. Hopefully that'll clear up by next year. But yeah, that should do it for the schedule art this week. Wait, no, hang on. I forgot to actually like give myself fangs. I was wondering why this picture of myself felt so wrong. It's because I didn't give myself fangs. These are just like straight teeth. I don't know. I feel like me with straight teeth would look a little bit disturbing, right? Like, you know, people would be like, straight tooth paths can't hurt you. Straight tooth paths isn't real. But then what happens if I pull up on your block You know, it's late at night. You get an anonymous call. It's me. I'm saying that I'm a few blocks away and I need to be let into your house. And then when you open your window, you see me outside smiling like this. Yeah, it just looks wrong. Like those fish with teeth, exactly like those fish with teeth. Like that's like the easiest way to know that you're being bamboozled by a doppelganger. Like this looks much more natural somehow. There we go. Yeah, that's much more on model, I think. Okay. That should just about do... Hang on. No, that's not something we can really work on. Where is it? Hang on. Darken? Yeah, there we go. I thought something was bugging me with that. Actually, can we mess around with the angle of this a little bit? Yeah, that looks a little bit more satisfying. Okay, we should be fine with this now. Right. We were working on this. I do actually have... I've been... Hang on. Adjust fan perspective. Oh, right. Are you getting ready for Christmas? Kinda. Not particularly. I have like one Christmas decoration in my house. A stocking that my parents gave me as a decorative item just to take with me. And that's already kind of hanging from the door of my bedroom all times of the year. I'd probably just bring it out to hang in a place that would be visible for guests. Oh, thank you. I'm also really liking how it's coming along. Where did I leave the... Oh, it's this one probably, right? Yeah, okay, I see where we needed to... I see where we need to take this up. So the reason I put in adjust fan perspective is because giving single guy just moved in aesthetic. I mean, I have more stuff in my apartment than that. It's not just my fucking mattress on the bare ass floor, my computer, my streaming setup, and my fucking stocking that I got from my parents. It's more than that. That would be an insane r/male living spaces post. That would be like legendary. People would be like, why the stocking, bro? Well, it is not the season just yet. Yeah, I don't have enough space for like a proper Christmas tree either. What can I do for Christmas? Fucking... This is like it would be funny though. That is true. I'm not arguing with that. It would be one of the funniest things ever if somebody lived it in that way. You know, funny from an outside perspective. Surely whoever lives that way on purpose would lead a rather tortured life. I have no doubt of this. Maybe I should try to like get it more into the holiday spirit or something. Okay, yeah, I would need to erase the top half of this. Just a little bit more, and there we go. I do want to blunt it just a tiny bit. I am almost impulse bought one today. Dang. Yeah, I mean, I could probably get one of those, like, really tiny ones. I mean, I don't think that would be that would be, like... I have enough space for, like, a desktop Christmas tree, and who knows, that might even liven up the place a little bit. I don't have the space, but I do miss having a tree for Christmas. Yeah, I don't know. I think like a lot of it is just that feeling that something special is supposed to be going on, but there's nothing special inside of your house. Like I'm sure that it's something that you feel more. Get a bonsai and dress it up seasonally. That's not a bad idea, but I don't think you're supposed to put crap on your bonsai. My family actually did own a bonsai tree. We had a friend of the family who owned one, and then they moved away to a place where they couldn't care for it anymore. Like it was some kind of pet dog. And so we ended up inheriting the bonsai tree. Well, inheriting is a strong word. It was kind of pushed onto us. We took it in. And so we just grew that thing for a few years. And surprisingly, it didn't die. I'm not going to say it flourished, but it didn't die. Which is impressive considering my own track record for keeping plants alive. Wow, it was like a dog. I mean, not in most ways, but it did often bark. You look like a succulent guy. That is, I have owned a couple of succulents. I've done that. I have owned a couple of succulents before. Abandoned bonsai was now your son. Honestly, hang on. Hang on. Rimshot. Like two of the Pokemon that I do like the most. I don't think Sudowoodo is based on a bonsai. I feel like he is kind of bonsai-ish. But he is rock type, actually. I do also really like Bonsly, which looks a lot like yeah. But his baby is? The baby is also rock type! The baby is also rock type! Like, this is not a plant! Wait, hold up. Yeah, no, hang on. Let me pull up the fucking, let me pull up the web browser source. So we can roast this dude in live. Bonsly is a rock-type Pokemon. Wait, what happened to Bulbapedia? Oh, there it is. Bulbapedia. It evolves into Sudowoodo when leveled up while knowing Mimic. Okay, let's see. Pokedex entries. Diamond. It looks as if it is always crying. It is actually adjusting its body's fluid levels by eliminating excess. So this dude isn't even for real crying. Fluids? It's a complicated-ass creature, man. I don't know what to tell you. Or sorry, it's a complicated-ass creature. I don't know what to tell you. It does not deal well with water, so it lives in dry locales. Since its surroundings tend to lack greenery, it stands out noticeably. From its eyes, it can expel excess moisture from its body. This liquid is similar in composition to human sweat. That's fucked up! It is a complicated rock, just like a computer. God. Wait, oh, it expels both sweat and tears from its eyes. The sweat is a little salty, while the tears have a slight bitterness. That's so gross. Why are you tasting this thing's body fluids? Legends Arceus. Its tears elicit sympathy from those who see them, but do not be deceived. This expulsion of body water is merely a physiological mechanism for keeping itself in good health. Don't people eat Pokemon? I mean, yeah, but they're not going around drinking, licking the rock. I should hope, like it's a salt lick in a horse stable. Let's take a look at my guy Sudowoodo real quick. Okay. Sudowoodo disguising itself as a tree. My friend, when is the last time you drank cow sud? Right? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Gold and silver. Although it pretends to be a tree, its composition appears to be closer to a rock than a plant. It hates water, so it will disappear if it starts raining. Okay. Moon. Apparently, the larger the green parts of this Pokemon, the more collectors value it. It's a particular favorite among elderly people. It's so popular with the elderly that there's a magazine devoted to this Pokemon. Fans obsess over the particular length and angle of its arms. That's actually kind of rad. I like that. The result of holding the same pose all the time is arms that have become supple yet strong. That's a little weird to say. If a tree branch shakes when there's no wind, it's a Sudowoodo, not a tree. Okay. Though it pretends to be a tree, it fails to fool even children. To the touch, its body feels more like rock than tree bark. Sudowoodo's extreme aversion to water merits special note. What an insane thing to say. I do like the picture here. Back when I was like a big thing, when Pokemon was like a big part of my life. You know, I was never like a super hardcore Pokemon fan. I liked Pokemon the same amount as like kids who played Pokemon games like Pokemon. Family that hates getting wet. God. I keep zoning out, and every time I tune back in, I learn new facts about random things. That is the intended experience of these streams. It's just like me talking about random shit that I know about. That just happens to be relevant to the conversation. Okay, I don't actually know where to start with this. Because, hang on. Actually, I do know where to start with this. I can start with this part here. ADHD tendencies. Whew. It ain't easy being the Rice Master, I'll tell you that much. I'm gonna bring this part in just a little bit more. For some reason, I'm imagining a hive mind type situation when you said Rice Master. I'm not sure why. What if every gradient of rice was sentient? That sure would be weird. That sure would be weird. Sadly, the only media that has explored this potential horrific scenario is, sadly, Sausage Party. And I'm not a fan of thinking about that too hard. My Pabzart versus see who is a trillion rice piloting a body mech. God, that reminds me of Spiders Man. Do you remember? Does everybody remember Spiders Man? Posting canceled. You gotta watch out for the Sausage Party fallacy. God, yeah. There's some like comic book concepts, but I do think that Spider-Man, but he's actually like a bunch of spiders, literally like a huge thing, a hive mind of spiders that fights crime, is like up there among my very favorites. Like, this is like the sort of thing that is sufficiently stupid to be compelling, but is so stupid it could only be explored in the medium such as comic books. I feel like the like most stupid a film is allowed to be is like Swiss Army Man. And even that had like some sobering moments of extreme reality kind of sprinkled in there. comics, you're just allowed to do whatever the fuck you want. I think a large part of that is just because like it's such an accessible medium. Like comics have been created and are predominantly, well, maybe that's not true, but you know, in my experience, it's like normally you can create comics with just one person. Like it just takes a single person to create a comic, and that's why so many different ideas and concepts in it can be explored. Like with movies, you need to convince at least like two or three other people to convince to kind of sign on board, because you need at least one person holding the camera, one person holding the microphone, and one person acting. You just need a single brain to devise some of the most outlandish concepts ever seen. That's right. While some of its results have been questionable, I respect the hell out of any medium that says, yeah, one pervert with enough determination and a deranged mind can create one of the most compelling pieces of media you've ever seen. And again, it's very often not just one person. You know, I hate to be the guy that's like going around comparing like two different cultures' system of creating comics, but like for, you know, especially for manga, the mangaka tend to have assistants and such. I'm not sure the extent to which assistants are used in Western comics production, but I'm sure there must be at least a couple of them that use a similar, yeah, teamwork thing. Thanks for the but it's time to do my 3-hour walkies. Have fun rest of stream. All right, thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a good walk. I always like it when you come by. So yeah, thanks for coming by. I went to so who knows. That's kind of, I'm honestly a little bit jealous. I do kind of want to get back into like longer form walking, but the two main antagonists to this possibility for me right now are the weather and also like. No, it's mostly just the weather, actually. I'm not usually a guy that's motivated to go on walks on the best of days, but now that the weather is turning colder, it's like, no. No, thank you. Hang on, let me try to I need to like reassess how I've done these. Get a mini treadmill so you can get in touch with your inner hamster? Huh. I mean, how much does a mini treadmill go for? Like, hang on. Apartment treadmill. Small, quiet. Quiet and compact. The best treadmills for apartment living. All right, let's take a look. Okay. Nordic Rack Track Series. Known for their robust build yet quiet operation, Nordic Track treadmills are a great choice for any apartment dweller. Okay. What did oh, she's folding it out. Huh. There's also kind of go under your desk. Wait, really? Hang on. Under desk treadmill. Get Vonsley out of here. We don't need about that. Alright, catch you later. Under desk treadmill. Oh, that's so weird looking. They also have these things called walking pads. Alright, let's take a look at a couple of these, actually. Best Buy Canada has never steered me wrong because I've never used them before. Whoop. Probably shouldn't open Amazon. Absolutely, we're not allowing it to access our location. Okay. Most aren't worth investing in, but one of these under-desk mills we've vetted and recommended can help you keep moving without buyer's remorse. Even if you manage to squeeze a run into your workday, if you have a desk job, you likely spend the vast majority of your day sitting down, and even standing at a standing desk can start to get old as your feet grow stiff. For some relief from the doldrums of a day spent in front of a screen, you may find some benefit in a walking pad. A walking speed treadmill that fits neatly under your workstation. Walking Pad is also a brand that makes under-desk treadmills. These neat under-desk treadmills can help to rebalance all your stagnant sitting and standing, helping you fit more movement into your workdays. While you don't need to walk all day every day to perform at your best on the road and on the trail, a walking pad can help you keep active as you send email or attend meetings, boosting your metabolism and cardiovascular fitness with every step. And the best part? Our top picks are low profile enough that you can store them just about anywhere. No need to fret about cluttering up your office. Okay. Go Youth. 2-in-pad, walking pad, and treadmill. Easy to move, short setup time, Bluetooth audio quality is... What do you mean Bluetooth audio quality isn't exceptional? Okay, let's take a look. Weighs in at 64 pounds, that is pretty light, and the wheels underneath make it a breeze to move around. Despite being lightweight, this feels sturdy underfoot and can comfortably reach speeds up to 6 miles per hour. If you want to jam out to some music, you can connect your phone to the treadmill speakers via Bluetooth. It doesn't provide an audiophile's dream sound quality, but it's still nice to see that included in a way that doesn't feel like it compromised any other facet of the build quality. I mean, that's fine. That's not a deal breaker. I usually listen to music on my headphones more so than my... Yeah, this is kind of more what I was picturing with like desk treadmills, just a treadmill with literally a desk on it. This one seems pretty sturdy. Walking Pad R2 folding treadmill for running and walking. This walking pad model may look like a standard under-desk treadmill, but it has one feature that makes it a especially prudent option for cramped office spaces. It can fold in half. I mean, the other one doesn't need to, like, this one doesn't need to be folded in half even, though. The thing is as well, the good thing for me is that I don't actually run on treadmills. I'm like a very heavy person. I'm surprisingly dense. So it can, like, I feel myself damaging the treadmill when I run on it. So usually I just go for, like, vigorous walking. Okay. Most under-desk treadmills are complete junk. We don't just mean they're cheap, they wear quickly, or they're loud. We mean they simply do not work as advertised and could fail within days. Sheesh. Yeah, no, it's probably better to just stick to doing a quick warm-up on my own. Or, you know, to invest in like an actual real treadmill and just walk on that and maybe add a desk to it. But yeah, let's go back to these frills real quick, because I... No, wait, we can work with this. We can work with this. Where's the lasso tool? Okay, there we go. And then... Wait, no, hang on. Wait, where's the tiny reference that I used to have here? Yeah, we don't need to adjust the fan perspective anymore on this. Huh. Frills are so fucking hard to do. It is criminal. Okay, let's try this. We'll decrease the length of the frill right here. And instead we're going to help our own case by kind of just dragging this around like this. Let's see, adjust line, redraw vector line width would probably be the best one here. Yeah, okay, I'm feeling this one. This feels like the right move. Oh yeah, I think for the Americans, Thanksgiving only recently happened, right? For Canada, it actually happened a little while ago, but in terms of like special events, I didn't do anything particularly special for it, but it did run into one of my coworkers in my apartment building. Thankfully, it turns out that they don't live here. They were just visiting family who does live here. But I was quite surprised when I ran into them. I was like, wait, don't I know you? It was especially jarring because I don't actually show up to in the office in person very often. I usually work from home. So it was I especially felt like surprised at that. Thanksgiving is at the end of the month this year. Oh my, so it still hasn't happened then. Also, hi Johnny. I see. So it hasn't happened yet, huh? That's kind of a relief in a couple of ways. I remember there was like a really crazy... I don't know why I think so fondly of Thanksgiving. First of all, because I'm not even like from North America. We don't have that in Ecuador. The madness starts next week. The Americans are forcing this year's end holiday season to last a little over a month for my industry. Oof. Yeah, those rascally Americans. I really wish we didn't have to pay as much attention to them as we do, but it is what it is. No gratitudes in Ecuador? Like, the thing is, like... like, Ecuador got rid of most of the people who tried to, like... I don't know, actually, like... The problem is, like, with Thanksgiving, it's like the whole, like... idea behind it is that the people who tried to like colonize this place would have died if it wasn't for like the like kindness and generosity of the indigenous people here. And the problem is that like the Spaniards were ungrateful assholes. So they didn't really have that. They kind of had like it was kind of like a very different dynamic. So actually, we didn't end up murdering most of the people who came over, sadly. It would have been awesome if we did, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna... I mean, at least I'm pretty sure we didn't. Like, I mean, like, no, we definitely didn't, because otherwise we wouldn't have names like... most South Americans wouldn't be named Spanish names. I kind of wish we had. Like I said, it would have been great if at least one place that attempted to be colonized could have popped back in that way, but, you know, can't have everything. I would not be Pabs, that's right. I'd still probably be like Ryza at some point. Like that is like completely, that is like a Latin thing. That predates the Spaniards by a good couple centuries. I whine about how it's like a lot of work, but drawing frills is actually kind of You know, once you get into the groove of it, it is very rewarding. I understand why Toho fan artists are like this now. I feel like Aotearoa New Zealand is trying, but as always, it's an uphill battle for decolonial movement. Always worth doing, but hard work. Yeah. Come to think of it, I had a buddy from Aotearoa. Back when I was growing up, I knew this kid from Aotearoa who we were besties. We were close friends. I hope he's doing okay nowadays. My bad, Aotearoa. I mean, I'm trying to say that because, like, if you say New Zealand, I mean, I'm not Maori. I'm not. I'm not. Wait, no. Is it the Maori people who are in New Zealand who are in Aotearoa? Hang on. What is the name of the indigenous people of Aotearoa? Okay, no, they are the Maori people. Okay, cool. But yeah, no, I'm saying Aotearoa because that's like I don't have any particularly strong opinion whether the name Aotearoa or New Zealand is used. I'm not like I'm not Maori. I am Ecuadorian. If you say New Zealand, I'm not gonna be like mad. I'm trying to make an effort to call it Aotearoa. I don't know. I think I was correcting my own spelling. I spelled it wrong. My fault. Now, see, now I'm overcorrecting as well. Like, I gotta relax a little bit. What else has happened recently, come to think of it? Oh, yeah. Alright. So, now that it is, like, November and closer to wintertime, though, we are starting to see, it is kind of like the time of the year when coffee shops start to roll out, like, their Christmas-themed coffee cups. And something really funny happened to me while I was getting coffee the other day. I was waiting for my sandwich order to come up, and because the coffee they serve in the coffee shop, I didn't want to try to call it Aotearoa, but I put the other name in case people aren't familiar. Yeah. I think that's the best precaution to take. I feel like that's the most accessible way to do it. But yeah, I was getting some coffee and breakfast from this coffee shop nearby. It was Tim Hortons, just to clarify. I'm not going to be secretive. There's like 5 million of those in Canada. But I got my coffee first, right? They serve the coffee there super quickly. I got my coffee first, and I was waiting for my sandwich order to come up. I was not familiar, so I appreciate that I could learn something today. Everybody learns something new every day. That's one of the coolest things of being, you know, of like just having access to information all the time, is that you tend to learn something new every day. It's not always something you want to learn, but you know, it's something useful. It's something new. Yeah, good going, Common. But yeah, I set down my coffee because it was really hot in my hand, and like 2 seconds after I set it down, this like elderly man, he was probably in like his late 50s, early 60s. He like reached over to inspect my cup, and I was like, sorry, that's mine. Let me get that out of the way for you. And he started apologizing as well. It turns out that he thought that the design on the cup from like the winter design was like a new seasonal plastic cup that they dropped for the holiday season. So he wanted to take a look at it. It was a funny misunderstanding. Come to think of it, I'm not actually a huge fan of those like metallic thermoses. I'm not really a soup for packed lunch kind of guy. So I've never really had a chance to use it for that. And if I want something warm to drink, there's usually a coffee machine or something nearby. What song is this? It sounds cool. It is called The Soul Regret from Bastion, the original soundtrack. It is a game called Bastion. I was obsessed with it as a teenager, and this song plays during one of the stages in the game. The Bastion OST has a lot of bangers. Bastion was a game made by the same people who made Hades. It was like the first game the studio released. But yeah, it has a lot of interesting genres kind of like thrown in there. Bastion, I've heard of that. Yeah, Darren Korb is the GOAT for real. I can't wait for like 2 or 3 years from now when Hades 2 finishes dropping and I can finally do like a 10 stream playthrough of that game as well. I had a lot of fun playing Hades. I think the game that I had like the most complicated relationship with from Supergiant Games like library is probably Pyre. Because I had it in my Steam library for the longest time and I was like, here, this is like a basketball game. I don't really want to play that right now. Until one day I just like booted it up out of curiosity. You know, it was a Friday night. I didn't have much on my plate. I was like, fuck it, let's play Pyre. It is absolutely a basketball game, but it is also so much more than that. It is it is a basketball game. It is partly a dating sim. It is about it is about communist revolution. I am only barely kidding about that part. God. And I also beat it in one sitting. It like you can absolutely like if you push it. Hang on, let me check my Steam log hours on Pyre. I have, let's see, 9.5 hours on that game, and the only thing I left undone were like some optional additional challenges. The basketball is hard to believe in communism. Listen, there is a ball, there are players on the field, and there is a kind of hoop thing that you dunk it into. It doesn't get much more like basketball than that. Your role in Pyre is literally to be the manager of like an NBA team for a mystical ritual that is played with a ball that you dunk into a hoop that goes into a burning into like a burning thingy, and that's what the Pyre in question is. It fucking rules. Okay, bye. I gotta go play Pyre. All right, have fun. See you in 9.5 hours. It also has a very... Pyre also has a good soundtrack. I don't like it as much as Bastion's, but I think that is going to be like a matter of like personal taste. I'm trying. This one fold here is killing my brain. What am I doing here? Wait, no, hang on. I'm goated. Wait, I'm goated. I've been meaning to get Pyre. Knowing it's basketball instead of football did move it up the waiting list just now. Oh, good. Also, I do have to bounce, so just stopping a while I had the chance, had fun. All right, thank you. I always appreciate it when you come by. Catch you later. God. Video games are so good. Very similar to comics in the regard that like one person can make one and just be insane enough to make it about whatever they want to make it about. You know, prime examples being things like RPG Maker games and whatnot. Cave Story is a big one. But yeah, very much in that same sort of idea of like, it's easy enough to do it with one person. Having more people in your corner to help you do it definitely helps, from what I understand. Because like the thing is that at least with comics, the art is like the only thing you need to know about. Like even if your dialogue sucks, you can still tell a story. Hell, if your dialogue sucks, you can still be a professional comic artist. Hang on. I feel like making a video game by yourself versus making a comic by yourself allows for more potential madness in the former just because of the length. I think I agree with you, yeah. The issue is that the length of the video game, I mean, I guess a lot of it depends on like wordless comics can be really good too. Sometimes it's just the art. That's true as well, actually. I hadn't considered that. Well, no, hang on though. Even if it is just the art, you're still doing writing. You can't just like draw pretty pictures. You know, you can't just release a volume of like 60 epic-looking pictures and then just have them be completely unconnected without really telling a story. You're not writing in the sense that you're not making dialogue, sure, but you are writing in the sense that you are still telling a story. Wait, hang on. This might be the key. Ah, this is hurting my head to think about. This roll is killing me. Yeah, fuck it, that's good enough. Let's move on. Clothes are so hard for me. Yeah, no. Clothes can be fun, but like I do think that clothes can be a lot of fun to draw, but the issue is that making clothes that are like meaningfully complex in any way is like a not Sisyphean necessarily, because it does have an end point, but it is like a Herculean task. I need to find a different Greek dude to compare this to in terms of difficulty real quick. But yeah, I do agree that it is pretty tough going to try and make the clothes. The thing about the ruffles as well is that the second layer of ruffles is actually broader than the first layer. Or like the topmost layer is broader than the bottommost layer. What did she make this outfit for again? Just a cute doodle? Ina didn't actually make this outfit. This was drawn by... Hang on, let me pull up their Twitter handle. This was for Gigi's birthday party celebration where she hosted like a murder mystery. And so everybody got dressed up in like these fancy clothes. It was made by @eelsoup_. Hang on. The outfits are made by eelsoup_ on Twitter. And they did a super good job on these. These are fire. Yeah, I really like their art style. It just looks really nice. And obviously I love this outfit. I do, however, think I will need to like... Hang on, let me grab this. This one might be a good one to do it with. And just kind of drag it down like that. Gotta check them out. Mm-hmm. It's been a long time since I felt like, oh man, I wish I could draw like that person. I don't think I necessarily feel that strongly for this art style, but I do admire how efficient it is at conveying like a complex set of clothing with like so few lines. I do think that it's incredible how they've managed to fit so much detail into it. Super detailed chibi art reminds me a little bit of like those porcelain dolls. I remember the other day I saw this thread of people dressing up their Pokemon plushies in handmade clothing, and it was awesome. Let me see if I can find a couple of them actually. Hang on. I should still have them around somewhere. It was before this. Let's see. Somewhere around here, maybe? Hang on, these are taking a minute to find. Wait, I could probably find it in my search history. Hang on. Blah, blah, blah. Nope. Hang on. History. Search history. Okay. Twitter posts. Okay. Nope. Not sure where I can... Hang on, I'm not sure where I can find these anymore. Let me keep trying for just like one more minute. Hang on. Here it is. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Funny images. Come on, bud. I can feel it. I'm so close. Yeah, no, I'm not finding this. It was worth a shot. It was worth a shot. Yeah, I can still find it in my image references folder. It should be like a huge chunk. Yeah, sometimes searches result in dead ends. The thing is... Wait, no, I found them. Hang on, I found them. Never mind, I'm goated. Yeah, let me just grab a few of these. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're back. Like, look at this. Look at these little guys. Somebody dripped them the hell out. This one's one of my favorites. I should have kept the ads for some of these, but in the heat of the moment, I forgot to do that. Like, look at how sauced out this Pikachu is. God damn. This one's just fucking sending me. Why is he... Why does it look like this? This one is very fancy. I do appreciate that. The very dripped out. I forgot what the name of this one is. I like the round glasses on the plushie here. Again, round glasses. Another... I like the... Again, round glasses. Somehow putting round glasses on these little things is just some of the funniest shit ever to me. Absol, that's the one. This, the monkey in the hoodie. His journey is similar to mine. The fucking tiny ass leather shoes on this Pikachu are fucking sending me. Yeah, I lost track of the thread, sadly. The fucking Machamp with the chain. I do love this. This one is also one of my favorites. I just like that the hard glasses fitted so well. But yeah, that was the spoils of war from that thread. These two Pikachu were making mochi. Very fancy. I forgot the name of this one. Oh, hi, Jupiter. The 100 yen coin in this one's like purse is really cute to me. Mochichu. Like these are like some of the cutest things ever. This is just like an actual normal person. Like if you walk around in like a European plaza, at some point you're just gonna run into some dude who looks like this for real. This is what it's like to live in the Pokemon world. 100%. Why does this one look so fucking mad? I like the vibe that these two give out. This adorable Chikorita, the Dusk Noir. I think that this one's really well put together. It's like very little. It's like it's only a couple of things, but it's very tastefully done. The squirrel with the Hawaiian summer fit. They put a helmet on this moth. They put a tank shirt on this beast. And also some round glasses. Like, these are all just, like, really, really good. The pants on this motherfucker. My guy, Whooper. But yeah, I'm glad I found those and I could share those. They were just like so good, honestly. And the thing as well is that they're just really good outfit references for like normal people clothing too. Like there were some where I was like, what are they going for here exactly? But then there were other ones where I was like, I understand exactly what they were going for. That is genius. I don't know. There is like a certain ability to communicate an idea through like only like icons and symbols, and I think they were very good at doing that. It's like that idea of Doom Cute, right? The idea that you can make something like meaningfully close to its real life representation using only rudimentary shapes. Not that you can put too many layers on a plushie anyways. I'm imagining a plushie like tanked up, like, you know, like those parents who are really scared their kid will catch a cold, so they like put them in like a triple snowsuit or some shit. I mean, that's not a bad fear to have though. Like, I feel like that's an almost very responsible fear to have, but it does look a little ridiculous when the child is like swaddled completely. 100 layer t-shirt plushie. Bubble wrapping my fire monkey. I don't think the monkey will appreciate that. Okay, this is gonna come in kind of like this. This one needs actually to be a little bit more curved outward. But yeah, I've always thought that plushie modding was such a creative field. Like, not even just like turning the plushie of one thing into something else, but also just like making tiny outfits for your plushies. I don't know, there's something so tender about that it's kind of hard to articulate. Like, you love this thing so much you gave it a little outfit. Like, that's nuts to me. It's awesome. It's the same reason I really love people who like work on customized keyboards and whatnot. Like, I don't know how to put it. It's such a normal everyday object, but by customizing it to that extent and making it your own to that extent, it's become something that you probably smile at whenever you use it. You know, not that you really use a plushie, but it's kind of a similar sentiment in terms of like what about it inspires me. I'm gonna need to thicken up the lines on the outside of the hat here. The only thing that's bothering me is that the texture for the frills here seems to be a little bit thicker than what I'm doing, but you win some, you lose some. Okay, then over here, we're gonna have this part here. I do kind of think it would be hilarious if there's just like some person out there making these little, really tiny clothes. Whenever I put forward a concept, it's also interesting to think of like the antitheses of that concept. Right, so I'm putting forward that like the people who customize their plushies like this are probably really love their plushies and, you know, they want to treasure them a lot. What if the person customizing their plushie is somebody who doesn't even like the plushie that much, but is doing it purely for clout? Like they're like the Edna mode of plushie customization. What do we do if that's the person who's posting these? Like this dude made that dripped out Pikachu with calculated efficiency for the algorithm. Oh god, that's crazy. It has to look perfect or else. This person having like a kind of Hannibal Light Yagami close-up internal monologue moment where they're like trying to figure out how to make this a perfect picture and composition, and on the outside they're like wearing Gothic Lolita clothing and just like snapping pictures with their bedazzled cell phone. God. There's probably all kinds of people who do that. I'm just trying to figure out who would be the biggest mismatch for these things. I'm still remembering that one tweet about Animal Crossing, how the people who have like those super cute aesthetic islands run it like a goddamn ethno state. I've seen the evil in your heart. Like, on the one hand, people should be allowed to enjoy things however they well please, but at the same time, it's like the kind of path you had to take to get here feels really callous. Okay, I think I see what I need to do here. Let's actually put this one a little bit further up. And let's actually copy and paste this one here. Because we're still at the point where we would need to see more of this side of the hat, of the frill on the hat. I also want to try and make these a little bit more curved, but that's going to be a fool's errand. But the problem is, like, right now they look like way too flat if that makes sense. Like, they look way more curved here. How do I accomplish that without compromising the readability of the fold? I could try to... Hang on, something else is bothering me. The width of these is also off. Yeah, these feel a little bit more inclined with what I've been in line with what I've been making over here. This one is actually also a little bit wide, but I don't know how to fix that without. I mean, let's make this one a little bit bigger and this one a tiny bit smaller. I will say, going back to the idea of like that of the most cold-blooded person ever, or rather like the most locked-in person ever going into a plushie customization. I do think that it is nice meeting somebody who takes their hobby way too seriously. Not in the sense that they like want to police it or they believe that anything that's not particularly up to their standards is awful, but in the sense that they want to be the very best at it. You know, outside of the context of like, you know, competition or whatever. You know, like if it's somebody that plays fighting games, for example, is like, I want to be the best among my friends at fighting games. You know, and I'm willing to put in the time for that. I've got nothing else going on. Fuck it, let's do it. Hang on, I'm trying to figure out how to curve this thing. Maybe like that? Well, that certainly looks more curved. But it doesn't really make sense, so... Okay, no, I see what I was missing here. I try to make the curve way too early. It actually needs to... Its apex should actually be somewhere around here, so it actually needs to be a little bit lower back here. Okay, and then over here. It's hard to say that whether I'm making the right or wrong decision, but this feels more like what I want it to look like. We're gonna have to use this line joining tool. Just to make this a little bit less messy. Very good. Let's just connect these two as well. Now, why is it acting like that? Ah, good enough. The problem is that this no longer looks like a curve. It looks like... How do I put this? It looks like a curve, but not in the way that I want it to look like a curve. That's a little better. Yeah, it needs to be kind of like a more subtle curve, I think. The problem as well is that it's not kind of following the structure that I would like it to quite as much as I would like it to. Like, it needs to be further out like this. This frill thing is not light work. I was saying earlier how there's something relaxing about making frills. I would like to amend that statement. There's something relaxing about making frills as long as you're kind of aware about what you need to do. Whoops. Just like making frills in real life. I imagine that's a very difficult process, yeah. I'm definitely a noob at textiles, so nothing about it seems particularly easy to me, but frills seem like they would be a real awful thing to need to make. At the very least without modern machinery. If we move this just a little bit to the left. Everything seems hard to make without modern machinery. I don't think I would have survived. Well, you seem like a pretty virtuous person. I think you would have found a way to live one way or another. Unless you were in a ship, you would have died. And I think most people would die on ships. If only because I listened to a podcast once about like how people survived on ships before like modern amenities. I was like, oh yeah, no, I might just be killing myself if I ever end up in that kind of scenario. The sea is a harsh mistress. Come to think of it, there's a lot more harsh mistresses than there are gentle mistresses in kind of like the realm of natural forces. You know, I can't really... Like, a breeze is a soft mistress, I suppose. A gentle mistress. But, you know, gravity, the sea, fucking... caves, probably. The cave is a harsh mistress is not one that I think I've heard of before, actually. That's probably not a real saying. But gravity is a harsh mistress is one that I've definitely heard thrown around. Looking for a gentle mistress to be niceys to me. Me if I was a me if I was a goon in Batman universe. God. There was this one post that I read about. Cave formations are harsh mistresses. Mm-hmm. There was this one post I read about where it was like, would you rather be a goon for the Joker or a goon for like Lex Luthor? And they were like overwhelmingly the right answer. Like, there is a right answer to this question. There is like not a preference thing. It is like a matter of survival. You want a goon for Lex Luthor. You do not under any circumstances want to goon for the Joker. Because, like, if you goon for the Joker, he will kill you. And Batman's just gonna fuck you up. If you goon for, like, Lex Luthor, chances are you have, like, a dental plan. and like, also, Superman is not going to be fucking going full-bore strike force against you. And you'll probably still have a job by the time you're done trying to protect a vault full of, like, I don't know, mega kryptonite or some shit. I don't fucking know what happens in Superman comics. I've read like I've made an effort to read one series of long form Western comics in my life, and that was back when I was trying to learn more about Deadpool. So I read most of the comics that Deadpool was issued in. Do I want to intern for a billionaire asshole or the guy who does things for a laugh? That doesn't make the Joker sound that bad, but you know what I mean. I was about to say, like, do you want to be an intern for the guy who does things for a laugh? It's basically what I imagine like working for a YouTuber is like, except that there's also like, you know, PTSD from the working conditions. I made an edited joke image earlier about the Mr. Beast force, but I do think that that might actually be a real thing. I do think like one of the Mr. Beast videos that we are going to see within like 2 or 3 years is going to be, I've paid $500 million to fund my own private army. With that exact same tone of voice and cadence. And of course YouTube's not going to be able to take it down because like he's got a fucking private army. Epic prank gone wrong. We were raided by the Batman? Story time. Superman punched me so hard I went through a wall. Do people know that Lex Luthor is evil in the Batman in the Superman universe? Like, is that like, are people aware that he's like a supervillain, or like, is it kind of like a Steve Jobs reality distortion field kind of thing where like he has enough money that like most people aren't aware of like his kind of like private goings on, and you know if you throw enough money at something nobody will say anything. Welcome to... Did it censor that? Steve Jobs' private war with Mother Teresa? Did Steve Jobs have beef with Mother Teresa? Wait, pause. What? Why does it keep censoring you? What truth is Twitch trying to suppress from the public? No, I'm just making shit up. But yeah, no. Reality distortion field is some shit that should be in Jujutsu Kaisen as the English translation for domain expansion. But it's really not that. It's just like Mr.B. Oh, I see. Mr. Beastland. Wait, Mr. Beastland is really funny as a way to say it. But yeah, looking into the reality distortion field phenomenon is just like one of the most eye-opening things that can happen to you as someone who like is knowledgeable about like business shit. Like, I'm not gonna hide it, I was a business major. Surprisingly, there are very few real parallels to Superman. Oh, that's... Okay, I understand. I see what you were going for now. The island nation of Mr. Beastland was destroyed today after a several months war. God. Mr. Beastland is going to spawn the real-life Monkey D. Luffy to fucking take that shit down. Fucking Joy Boy will return. For the express purpose of destroying Mr. Beastland. Yeah, no, I understand. Bits are hard to do in text. It's not a... Yeah, no. Listen, I have felt the pain that you feel. This has happened to me before. There was a... Hang on. There was like a section of the reality distortion field article on Wikipedia that I recall very strongly. Bill Gates talked in an interview about Steve Jobs using his reality distortion field to cast spells on people. Gates considered himself immune to Jobs' reality distortion field, saying, "I was like a minor wizard because he would be casting spells, and I would see people mesmerized, but because I'm a minor wizard, the spells don't work on me." What the fuck are you talking about? These are grown men with enough money to buy a country. What are you fucking talking about? Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. It's sad that the Wikipedia article... God, get that thing out of there. It is kind of sad that the Wikipedia article for this is so small. Tech bros are so out of touch. We're living in different dimensions. I mean, that's true for a lot of things. See also gaslighting. Gaslight gatekeep domain expansion. Fuck me, that's so funny. There's something so grotesquely fascinating about like business culture when like things are going really well economically. Like you read about shit happening in like the .com bubble, and I'm pretty sure, and like I don't think we see that nowadays. Like even now that where we have like these grade A generational grifts of like AI and blockchain, we don't see that kind of insane thinking anymore because the economy is not good. They're trying to pretend the economy is good. The economy is not good. It hasn't been for some time. But like during the .com bubble, it was like a genuine like economic upswing that was quickly strangled in its nascent cradle state by the fact that people wanted to make money off of it. Shit is crazy out here. The subtle Wikipedia shade. Some Wikipedia shade is not subtle. I will say there are some Wikipedia articles that are written with what can only be described as open-faced contempt. And I do think it's deserved in some instances. I can't recall one at this moment, but there have been some. Like, there are some Wikipedia articles you read where you can audibly hear the Wikipedia editor who wrote it up doing, like, hang on. Let me see if I can find the picture of it. Where you can feel like the Wikipedia editor who was making the article was doing this the whole time. I should save my work and drink some water. But yeah, it's crazy how little work we've actually achieved in terms of like how much of the picture is completed, but how much of that work was like genuinely necessary. Because there was no way I was getting out of making these frills. I am not get a load of this guy POV. It's exactly like this. But yeah, how do I put it? There's some work where it's not noticeable, but it is necessary. And these frills was like one... Well, no, I mean, I guess the frills are very much noticeable. Back when I was being trained for something at my job recently, I was taught a little bit about prioritization and the way that we can delegate things that need to be prioritized. And the way that they had that was to make a matrix that was like things I need to do. So like things that you need to do and things that don't necessarily need to be done by you. And then there was like things that are like due urgently and things that are due in like not that urgently. So urgently would be like by tomorrow or by end of day. We gotta shake Eel Soup down for their frill techniques. I mean, I feel like their frill technique was that the character in question is like 3 feet tall and also like they don't do line art. This very much feels like they made the form of the frills first and then they drew the line art over that. And you can see that in some places here. Like up here, for example, you can see that they made a demarcation for the for the ribbon here, but it's not actually got like a stroke outside of that. Some of these other ones have a stroke, but I feel like they probably... Well, no, actually I'm not particularly familiar with their technique. Let me... Have they posted any like time lapses or anything? Hang on. Where is your time lapse? Do you have a time lapse? Oh shit! No way. They also did the video for Gigi's debut. That debut video was fire. I really like that. Not a fan of this new thing over here where they're like doing like explore, where it's like Fortnite community engages in charity and multiplayer events. All right, cool. I've never played Fortnite in my life. Half-Life 20 years and counting? I'm definitely not clicking on that. Dragon Ball Daima, a fresh take or a missed mark? I'm absolutely not clicking on that. Suigi's Super Mario 64 sweep. Who the fuck is Suigi? Wait, no, here we go. Ah, Kita Tingle. Okay, so they do start out with like the sketch. Okay. Pretty normal. Okay. Refined sketch. Or maybe this is the line art at this point. I also got the Fortnite one. That's crazy work. Okay. Right, this is animation. Uh-huh, okay. This is kind of making me eat my own words though, because it does seem like they do line art as a point of consistency first, which means I was way off base. This is such good and cute art. That being said, I am washed, mainly because of the fact that it does mean that they did all this line art. They probably did all this line art first. I was trying to help you find it, but I got transfixed by their tweet where they offered to draw you on an emote of you shitting on the toilet. Genius is hardly ever appreciated in its own time. I mean, a commission is, like, commissions open is technically an offer for most people, right? Like, in most cases, they are offering to draw you something in exchange for money. That is the offer being presented. Also, the hat's pretty much... no, we're missing a couple of things. Hang on. But they're super quick things that we can do. Okay. Okay. Kept trying to type hat and wrote hate. That is like... I'm trying to say this nicely, and I need you to understand that I'm saying it only as like a teasing way. That is a very much like a cartoon supervillain problem to have. Like that would be some shit that you would see like Skeletor up to in like the episode about learning how to touch type. Skeletor would be like, "Yeah, I'm trying to write this message, but I keep writing hate instead of hat." That's very much like a Skeletor problem to have. This absolutely humongous ass hat. Also, I realized something else. I kind of fucked up here. The frills are supposed to go over this curtain drape thingy. Fuck. I gotta remember to take off my evil villain autocorrect when I'm in civilian mode. God. Do you think that, like, I mean, like, the problem is that being a supervillain does very much seem like on the same level of having to run your own business in the sense in the sense that unless you're like a really successful one, you can't find a way to turn it off. You're like in a perpetual state of either thinking about your business or trying to get away from thinking about your business, but at the same time you're thinking about your business all the same. So I can understand why it might be hard to turn that off. I mean, sometimes I have a hard time turning off, like, the need to be funny as well. Like, as a streamer, right, you kind of feel this need to be funny. And it's not necessarily a need, it's just like a benefit to have as a streamer. But, like, you kind of, like, try to find opportunities to be funny. And it's kind of hard to turn that off sometimes. Leaving on your villainous email signature when you're messaging your family and then the revelation causes your divorce. Fuck, that's funny, actually. r/am I the asshole? I accidentally forgot to log out of my work account as a supervillain, and now my wife wants a divorce. Am I the asshole? And like they accidentally dox themselves trying to be in a neutral tone, and because like people can just figure out from their from the descriptions that they're giving of like their business activities that it's like, wait a minute, this is the motherfucker who robbed that bank on the 12th. Being a supervillain on Reddit has to damage your credibility to some extent, right? Like, that's what goons are for, I feel like. This loser can't even get his goons to run his social media for him. Do you think that like kind of how some people are like, oh man, the Wendy's employee who ran this tweet is probably gonna get fired? Do you think that people have that for like major supervillain accounts on superhero Twitter? And like somebody's like, guys, come on, this is a villain who robbed like 9 banks last week. They have the money to hire like a competent PR business guy. It is kind of odd to think about. Like, the thing is, right? Nowadays, like, a lot of gangsters, right? It's not like Al Capone where it was, like, a very centralized figure running a lot of shit. Like, I feel like unless you're, like, super into knowledge of, like, gang activity, you probably don't know who is actually, like, a criminal. And, you know, the criminals probably prefer to keep it that way. But, like, do you think that like there are just straight up like people who run like, I don't know, like exotic animal cartels or some shit that just have a Twitter presence? That's so weird to think about. I mean, they probably have better stuff to do than spend their time on social media as well as a problem. But at least in Ecuador, right, we actually had a very recent event where a huge like gang leader, like a really important figure, was actually arrested, which is a good thing. And they actually started going through his WhatsApp messages for evidence, and there was so much shit in there that they spent like 3 months going through all of it. So, you know, it's tough out there. Not the WhatsApp. It's literally what if Walter White had a WhatsApp. At least he used like Signal or some other encrypted stuff. God. The thing is that WhatsApp is technically encrypted, but it's not encrypted if the feds take your phone. Like you do not under any circumstances have to hand it to WhatsApp, but like their stuff is encrypted. I have heard stuff about like that Parler app and how it's used by, you know, both sides of people on the political spectrum. You know, if your political spectrum is completely made up of left and right, but it's just like gotta start putting self-destruct devices on my phones. God. I do remember that for some reason in high school, I was trying to look up how to make a dead man switch for my computer. I have no idea why I was trying to look that up. I had no plans of dying at that time, and I was very unlikely to be killed. At least I hope I was. But I guess I was just doing it for shits and gigs? No, wait, I know why. It was because I was playing Shadowrun Returns at that time. While people deserve privacy, it will be abused for evil. Yeah. High school paths. What was on your computer? It was literally nothing bad. It was literally schoolwork, art, and some random images that I saved from the internet. None of which I would be particularly ashamed of, or at least I wouldn't be ashamed that someone found them. Other people might be ashamed of having seen them, but like, you know, for me it was whatever. I would have stood my ground. In any case, I remember now why I was interested in that idea. I was playing Shadowrun Returns at the time, and the plot of that game is literally that washed up old friend of yours made a contract, like he got some kind of insurance deal taken out on himself that said that when he died, he sent you like the opportunity for one last job and a huge amount of money to be wired over your way. And I was like, damn, that sounds cool as fuck. So I tried to look up how to make one on my own, and then I quickly realized that it was insane. I should try to replay Shadowrun Returns at some point. It's not the worst game. I certainly have some nostalgia for it. I do know that a expansion for it, which is like a Hong Kong-based expansion, was very, very popular. Hang on, we got Steam open right now. We could verify this shit. Hang on, let's see. Dragon Run Returns. I assume you have to be like you log into it every day or something, and the day you miss a log in the email and transfer or whatever you set up, it'll automatically send, which sounds like a pain in the ass. It does sound like a pain in the ass. It's not Dragon Run, it's Shadowrun. The DLC is called Shadowfall or Dragonfall. Okay. Shadowrun returns. Recent reviews, very positive. Shadowrun returns Dragonfall. Very positive. Shadowrun returns Hong Kong. Very positive. Alright. So it does seem like it is a very well received game. That's good. Let's take a look at some of the reviews. First entry, the modern Shadowrun reboot trilogy. First entry? And even though this is merely a simple tech demo for what was to come, this is a damn fine CRPG with a fun system and rule set, fun mechanics, and a really interesting story. Huh. I like it, or maybe I don't. Okay, asshole. Story is very linear, but extremely well written. Kind of a short game too, but worth playing. That's true. I do wonder what they mean by trilogy. Is Dragonfall considered its own game? Oh shit, okay, so it is its own game. I didn't know that. Okay, shit. Oh, and it looks like Dragonfall is in fact like a proper more role-playing game. You're not just because in Shadowrun Returns you make a character. In Dragonfall, it does seem to be like you pick a character. Oh wait, no, hang on. There is still a skill-based character progression. Huh. System requirements: 2 GB available space. That's so sexy. I don't know. Whenever I see a game these days that's not an indie game and has like a sub 10 gigabyte, sub 20 gigabyte storage, it's like I feel like I need to salute a little bit. I will glaze it a little bit. I'm willing to do that. This isn't. Wait, is this an old game by now? It's probably an old game by now, huh? When was this released? Ooh, the OS is for Windows XP, Vista, or Windows 7. This might be an old-ass game by this point. 2014? Oh god, this is an old game. Oh, that's... that is not easy to... Ugh, that is a stiff drink. That is... Oh god, the passage of time. And Returns was in 2013. Oh. That is so much to deal with. 2013 is not that old, TBH, my bad. No, the PS3 is probably pre-2013 by just a couple of years. It's old at this point. Or I guess the PS2. Well, that's how it is. Can't really do anything about that. I don't know. It's been so weird going through my life and like being, because like, you know, throughout so much of my life, I'm used to being the youngest guy in the room, and now I'm absolutely not that. I am like the third youngest guy in the room, if that. And it's just like, whoa. It's a bit of it's taking some time to get used to. Is really the main thing. I think I'm not going to add an iris in the line art for this one. The nice thing is you'll always have time to adjust. That's a good way of looking at it. I will also need to adjust the... God, we are almost finished with this, huh? Oh, wait, hang on. I'm seeing a big problem here. All right, we can do a couple... We can multitask. Hang on. Okay, let's see here. Okay, it's split right down the middle from a ribbon. Okay, then we can just make these like light blue, lower their opacity. But yeah, we need to expand the frills on this side of the hat. They are currently weak and will not survive the winter. I don't understand why surviving the winter was such a big deal. People are probably dying during the fall too. Like if you listen to like animal documentaries, right? They always make a big hullabaloo about like surviving the winter. Like they will not survive the winter, and it's David Attenborough will be like they will. Perhaps you've experienced the winter; it's worse. I'm not saying they're not worse. I'm saying there's motherfuckers dying all seasons of the year. Like don't get me wrong. I'm not about to start glazing winter, but it's absolutely not just a season where everything dies. Well, no, plants die during this fall. Fucking they don't survive to see winter ever unless they're perennials, or I guess evergreens. Is perennial the same shit as evergreen? I forgot sometimes. Winter just does seem to be a very famous season for dying, but like, isn't that boring at some point? Like at some point you're gonna have to like realize, oh shit, I'm gonna die during the winter. That's cliche as fuck, bro. I gotta lock in. Perennial is a seasonal one. I had them mixed up then. My bad. No, wait, I looked it up and you were right. Fuck! I was gonna say perennial just sounds like it's something that's constantly active. Well, whatever. It's all plants anyways. I don't think they particularly care or get offended if we mix those up. Do you think like being evergreen or perennial is kind of like their system of astrology? Like if two plants don't really know each other that well, do you think like they try to do astrology shit and try to guess their like how frequently they bloom? I don't know. Feel like it's just you sort of plant racism, maybe? So this might be a controversial take. I do think plants would be racist. I do think that if plants existed, they would be they would be big fans of bigotry. Not because like they have anything that particularly drives them toward it. Like there's no logical reason for bigotry. But they are hateful little freaks who will strangulate each other whenever they share a space. So I'm guessing they're going to take any opportunity to kind of like bring down the competition that they can. Okay, we're gonna need to flip the canvas around a little bit. Or actually, this feels like a good stopping point for today. Plants are very particular, though through no fault of their own, but they do love to die when things aren't perfect, so I feel like they would be almost insultingly exclusive. God. Hang on, let me move this one around a little bit so it's not doing this after image. I seem to have really expanded the hat out for whatever reason. Let me do a little something with that. The reason I usually wait until after stream to post this sort of thing, but I have a hang on. There is a reason I'm doing it right now. See, a lot of people have actually left Twitter this past week because it is now almost like there was this rumor that now the ability to opt out of the AI training things that they want to do with that grok thingy they were running is impossible to avoid. That's supposed to have kicked in a couple of days ago, and if that is there, I haven't seen it myself. I still see the option to avoid letting my posts train the data. And, you know, they could be lying. That it is true that they could be lying. And I understand why people left in any case, right? I also would not feel comfortable. I also understand, like, not feeling comfortable on that website given, you know, everything. I'm kind of following V's position in some regards, that it's like, okay, I'm not leaving unless like literally all of my Hololive Oshis leave also. Man, I really expanded the hell out of this hat, huh? Sheesh. Oh, I just don't leave places. I mean, same. I still haven't left Tumblr, for example. I just kind of abandoned them. Love the big hat. You've done a wonderful job. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, then over here. But anyway, I feel like it's good to not take chances. I do have an idea for a stream that might help alleviate a couple of people's concerns. But that's going to depend on both their own sort of grit regarding the situation, among other things. But I do have a couple of plans. And one of the plans that I have, normally I post a WIP of what I've done at the end of the stream. But given the possibility that it is now going to be AI scraped, I have devised an ingenious method of copyright protection. Which is, I am going to put this fuck-ass picture of Monkey D. Luffy over everything that I post at a very low opacity. Yep. And the cool thing as well is that if I want him to fit in, hang on, I can actually, hang on, filter, blur. Not even using your own OC. That's the beautiful part of it. Everybody knows what Luffy looks like. Right? Like, the thing is, if I start saying, oh, this is a VTuber, and Luffy is there, and the machine knows that Luffy is there, but also knows that the VTuber is there, And they'll just be like, okay, when I'm going to try and generate some VTuber art, and Luffy will be there. Hang on. Can I fuck him up a little bit more? Can I do some shit to this guy? Oh yeah. I'm gonna be fucking sick. What if you're in the desert and you see this is a mirage? Did you add the echo, or are you just laughing that hard for real? I'm laughing. That was all 100% real laugh. I have been fucking cackling for the past minute. Whew. Ay, Dios. Oh, my stomach hurts. Okay. All right. We lock in. We lock in. All right. And just so that he doesn't fucking just so that he doesn't like create much of a nuisance, we're going to also go back and hi, it's me, Luffy. Hang on, I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to export the current image. Hang on, PNG. %. Because the thing about CSP is that it recently added this thing called color match or color grading or whatever. Hang on. Wait, yeah, this is the one. Yeah, hang on. Can I Ooh, I really like how this one looks. But yeah, CSP has this ability, it has this, not technique, this feature called color matching, which is kind of like gradient mapping. So what gradient mapping does is that it says, okay, these are the values, like it looks at the pixels in the picture and it goes like, okay, this is the darkest value on the picture. I'm going to assign it this color on a gradient. And this is the lightest value on this picture. That also gets assigned to the highest point on that gradient. And everything in between gets sorted accordingly. Color matching, I have no idea how that shit works. But it looks pretty. Alright, hang on. Transform, tonal correction, color match. And the coolest thing is, you can actually add new things to new images to color match with. You're gonna create new gradients as well, but like, oh, that doesn't look too nice. Yeah, we need to boost the intensity. Oh no, there we go. Whoa! That looks really cool. But yeah, okay, we're gonna do that. We're just gonna overlay that on top of Ina here. I feel like the joke doesn't work because Luffy's been too distorted. Hang on, I'm gonna go retrieve a fresh Luffy. I've hired this Luffy to stare at you. The time lapse for this shit is gonna go insane. Okay, tonal correction, color match, this one. Okay. Just barely visible. Okay, is there one where like he's almost more visible? No, that's too obnoxious. This one's not too unobnoxious. Like, this joke won't work if Luffy isn't, like, partially visible. Adjust the gamma slider until the Luffy is barely visible on your screen. At the drive-thru. Yeah, can I get a fucking, more Luffy, please? Okay, yeah, no. Out of all of these, I like Multiply the best. There we go. Let's see AI train on this shit. Sometimes I worry that I'm focusing my energy on the wrong things. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you to everybody who came by the stream. I really appreciate it. Is anybody streaming today? Is anybody who up obing their S's tonight? Oh, Sarisha is doing some fan art as well. Let's go raid her. All right, in the meantime, I am going to peace out. Thank you to everybody who came by the stream once again. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all next week for another session. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Oh, hang on. She's not accepting incoming raids right now. My fault, OG. Folksy do then. Alright. Alright, I'm peacing out now, for real. Talk to you later, bye.